Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we are adding the adorable little small clawed otters to Steinheimer Zoo. They are already the third species out of the Wetlands animal DLC which have made it into this zoo. I have added the capybaras as well as the spectacled caimans already last week. Why don't you check out the video after you are done with this one? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, this means a lot to me, especially as I am rather new on YouTube and my channel is just started out. Yeah, but let's get back into the build. So the small clawed otters are neighboring with the giant otters. This means we have two otter species who of course had to share an underwater viewing area. So we have this little temple style under the water, and I could add the small clawed otters as well. There's one problem I noticed though with the underwater viewing, and that is if you have the barrier, like the glass barrier for example, and it goes into terrain, there are various things you will not see in your underwater viewing. One of them is the fish out of the fish feeders, and the other are basically all underwater effects. So it doesn't matter if you do these with the water directly, which is the new function with the new update, or if you add the effects buttons, not buttons, but the effect pieces. So neither of them is visible if your barrier goes into the terrain. This is of course something that is very sad, so I had to edit this underwater viewing section a bit, and I might still need to fix it for the giant otters because there it is already not visible. So you will see me editing this later on. I had to remove this water at least 6 times while building for these otters. I don't know what was going on, but in the end it works out quite fine and you can see all the effects you want. Of course, as in every video, I will put the cinematics to the end. So if this is what you want to see, jump right ahead. I will put a chapter mark for that as well. For everybody who is still watching me, here I'm just styling the underwater area. It's not much because, you know, we have the other area which is the main area for the giant otters, and this is more like a side viewing, but I still like how it turns out, and I don't have a feeling that it looks like it was a second thought, even though honestly it was, because we didn't have the small clawed otters when I built this the first time around. The other thing that I noted though is that these fences, look at them, they're way too low. Not just could the otters climb out, but also kids could climb in. And to be honest, I don't want the kids and the otters in the same place because otters can bite, especially if they are maybe triggered or scared or whatever. They will bite, and they have sharp teeth because after all they do eat fish. So I didn't want that interfering, meaning I had to figure out a way with the fence. And then of course we are in a temperate zoo, and these animals have some requirements, which means we also had to add some shelter. Steinheimer Zoo is a sandbox zoo, but I still try to keep to some degree to the animal needs. So I check on the plants they like, I check on the space requirements and the hard shelter and the enrichment pieces and so on, and I try to make it a zoo that actually also would maybe work in franchise, but also not always. So for example, with the small clawed otters, they do not have enough diving space. And to be honest, I don't get it. In my opinion, they have more than enough space to dive. Maybe it's just sometimes it's a bit weird calculated with the diving if you have objects, plants and so on in the water. And those are the points where I'm just ignoring it. But yeah, hard shelter they need anyhow, because Steinheimer Zoo, it's a zoo in Germany. It's in Steinheimer Valley kind of. It's where thousands of years ago there was a crater who came in, and you know, there's this crater area around. This is this mountain range, and the nice thing about that is that it would actually be warmer than maybe in other parts. You know, this crater has a certain effect on the temperatures. I know that because where I live it's also rather a valley and it's warmer than other parts of Germany, so I'm thinking that this would be the case here. And yeah, so basically that's how they can live, but they still need some shelter for when there's bad weather. But it would still be needed, you know, for the otters to go outside, because this little hard shelter would not be enough to keep them in winter. They would get bored and depressed, I guarantee. And I don't have space for every animal to have a summer habitat, and then the zoo would also, winter habitat, then the zoo would also be a bit weird in winter because you wouldn't see any animals as they all would have to be somewhere else. And what you just saw happening is exactly what I described, this having to deal with this water and the terrain above it, just so that it looks right and we don't have the struggle when looking in, and we can actually see when we look through the glass what we want to see. So I don't know that at this point yet. I realized I was just trying to get the sprinkler in, but I learned later it was a hard pain. And then also there's something weird, like these otters are also rabbits. I learned this while playing this game because I placed some stones, and to get on or off these stones, these otters, they jump so high, it's nowhere realistic. I really don't get it, and I don't know why the game is made that way. I really don't understand it. And here, yeah, you just saw me struggling trying to put down a path, but it was not possible. So I just end up, imitating some little viewing area here where you could walk and see from the side there also into the otter habitat, just using some more temple pieces and sinking them into the ground, making this kind of a little off-road. I'm also thinking of actually making this whole path where the otters live like that, because I don't know, I really like how it looks like, and this could be something that works out well. Yeah, I think that's what you can say to this habitat. They will get some extra plants in the background, nothing too crazy, some tropical foliage in their little dome there. I also copied over the gate I had with the giant otters, which could potentially be closed if needed. And yeah, what else is there to say about it? Maybe this back wall. So you see that there's another habitat to it, which I have not yet shown in Steinheimer Zoo. And this one will be coming up like either next week or the week after. Let's see when I do a tour, because behind there's a whole area which is almost completed and I think should soon enough be ready to be shown off to you, which I will do again in the usual style which we have for Steinheimer Zoo. So if you are new to my channel, Steinheimer Zoo, I usually just do like a little tour of what has been added together, but with this wetlands DLC I have decided to add some speed builds, just because I didn't want to wait until I'm done with adding all of them, especially because they do go in different sections. And I know with the new DLC out, that's what everybody is kind of expecting to see also. Anyhow, now it's just gonna be some last finishing touches, and with this I wish you a lovely day, a lovely weekend, whatever is coming up ahead, and also don't forget to like and subscribe because it would mean a lot to me. Yeah, have a lovely day and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!
Sapper earjammer. Oh, vad var det skulle du säga?